Okay, after the structure, the next topic which we need to discuss about protein is the physical properties. What are the physical properties of protein? The first, uh, it is colorless, tasteless, crystalline and homogeneous, made up of same kind of composition all over. So it is such kind of compound which is actually colorless. You may have different sources for protein, but every time it is tasteless and colorless. It does not give any taste to the food in which it is present, but it is very important for our diet because these are the building blocks. We have our hairs, nails, internal structures, enzymes. They have so many functions inside the body. Some proteins are globular, that means they are round or spherical in shape, such as ribonuclease or pepsin, and they may be generally found in the plants, whereas some are fibrillar, that means they are in the form of fibers or thread like. And if you remember, you can correlate it with the muscle fibers. The fibrinogen was formed during the clot formation, remember? So that clot was also protein. That was the example of structural protein. Why? Because they were forming a structure, and that structure was the clot. Similarly, other structural protein can be myosin, which is present in the muscles. They are forming the fibers of the muscle. So this fibrillar are mostly present in the animals, and of course some plants also. Many plants have fibrillar structures like phloem. These are fibers. Xylem can be fibrous. So that also are one case. Other is they may be colloidal. Colloidal, you understand? That means when we mix it in water, they are insoluble. They are partly soluble and they form suspension kind of thing, colloidal kind of thing in the water. And when they are colloidal, of course they will not allow the light to pass through it, so it will be blurry. So it will show Tyndall effect, that when light passes from a protein solution, it will not come out from the other side as a transparent substance. Okay, if you compare a mixture of water, a glass of water in sunlight, and another glass in which you have mixed some protein, you can mix your protein powder which you are generally consuming in your milk. So that when you see, or just take a glass of milk and experiment yourself, just put them both in sunlight or some artificial light also, and find out which is allowing the passage of light to a more extent. Of course water will be transparent, so it will allow more passage, whereas the protein content, the colloidal solution, which is milk, is not allowing this light to totally pass through it. So that is colloidal substance. Next property, they undergo denaturation followed by coagulation. You have utilized this property of protein in the formation of, remember, cheese and curd. What we have done, we have added lactic acid, fermentation was being done, and milk was being converted into curd. Similarly, milk was being converted into cheese. So what was the basic thing which was happening there? We were denaturing the protein and letting it coagulate to form certain different kind of product. Okay. Next is proteins are levorotatory. When I was teaching you carbohydrates, I told you that carbohydrates are optically active. They may show certain properties, certain reactions in the plane of polarized light when exposed to plane of polarized light. Similarly, proteins are also showing such kind of activity. I told you why? Because it has a chiral carbon. Except glycine, all proteins show this optical activity, and they are levorotatory. Levorotatory, left side rotation. That means they rotate the plane of polarized light towards left. And if you remember the other word, there are certain biomolecules which may rotate the plane of polarized light towards right. They are dextrorotatory. Levorotatory, rotate to the left. So this you need to remember. Then proteins are amphoteric in nature. Amphoteric compounds are the compounds which can be used as an acid or a base. You remember the composition, carbon, the first carbon, the chiral carbon, is having a an acid group COOH and an amine group present, an H2 group. So it can act as a acid or a base, and therefore it will form a Zwitter ion. You know what is a Zwitter ion? Zwitter ion is an ion which has negative and positive sides present. It is a small dipole. If you have studied dipole in physics, dipole is the charge, two separate charge separated by a small distance. So here you can see a small dipole present in these amino acids also, and these form Zwitter ions. We call it Zwitter ions. Now how it is formed? The amine group here, the basic group and the acidic group, both are attached. Acidic groups are giving out hydrogen, and this hydrogen is readily accepted by the amine group. So NH2 becomes NH3, and here comes a positive sign, and here what happens? COO becomes a negative sign. This oxygen gets a negative sign over it. So here you can see two charges are separated by some distance. So this is the Zwitter ion or the dipole present in amino acids. Clear? Moving further, one important important concept or important point we should discuss here: why we have straight or curly hair. I told you your hairs are made up of proteins, but if you see the texture of hair, some of you are having very nice curls present in your hairs, but some of you are having straight hairs, shiny straight hairs. How does this happen? Naturally also, I'm not talking about artificially straightening the hair or artificially curling the hairs, but the naturally occurring individuals do have this kind of straight and curly hairs. How does this happen? Just see. Curly hairs is actually a dominant genetic trait, which is due to curling of the strands. How these strands are curled? Because of the bonds present in between them. What kind of bonds? There can be disulfide bonds along with hydrogen bonds. I have told you just now in the structure that there are hydrogen bonds present to stabilize the structure, but in curly hairs, in addition to hydrogen bonds, disulfide bonds are also present, which allow the strands of the hair to curl further to give a curly appearance. These disulfide bonds are present within the protein, whereas the hydrogen bonds are present between different protein chains. So these chains and the proteins, all these protein chains are held together by two types of complex bonding structure. These two types of bonds are disulfide bonds and hydrogen bonds. Hydrogen bonds are uniquely present in all, and disulfide bonds will be present only where the sulfur is present. So these disulfide bonds are also giving a complex structure, a compressed, you can say, structure, forming curls in the hair. Now what happens in straight hair? Straight hair, there is reduction of hydrogen bonds between the keratin, and when there is less amount of hydrogen bonds present, then the hairs are not actually curled, they become straight. Remember? Understand? So what happens when artificially we are doing this? When artificially we are breaking the hydrogen bonds, then the hair becomes straight. That is on this phenomenon, on this particular quality of breaking down hydrogen bonds, these straighteners and brushes which we use to straighten the hair, generally girls use and sometimes boys may also use it, whosoever is using it, they are actually breaking down the hydrogen bonds and letting the hair to be straight. Now you understand, every time you go to the salon, just understand the science behind each and everything which is happening on your body, which the test which is being done, just consider that to be a test. Then if it is being curling, so what has been happening? When the curls are there, of course they are allowing the hairs to come together, and when they come together, they will form the bonds. Whereas when we are breaking down the bonds, naturally present bonds we are breaking down, so it will ultimately become a straight hair. If we see the picture here, these are the straight hairs, small curls and large curls, very complex, very curly hairs. So this will be the structure of the hair strands. See, can you see? Now you can categorize your own hair according to the and you can just see scientifically, you can tell everyone in your family, okay, I have so many bonds present in my hair, so my hair is curly. So I think this much is enough for today. We shall be continuing in the next class. Till then, just start spreading your knowledge. Whatever you are gaining here every day, discuss with